In 2003, you guys put out the Highlight Zone, right? And this album kind of got a bit of backlash. People felt a certain way about the album. Now, I know, E, you loved the album and you didn't understand. Like, you felt like you were more personal on the album. You felt like it was a better version, right? How did you guys feel about when you guys were making the album? What was the vibe and the intention?
I think it was just very, it was like the first stuff, after, like it was kind of at a different phase for us. And, just, like me and Mai working together. And I think it was, it was just that part. I remember like just certain beats, like that's the one, like the Seb John, I love that song and like stuff like that. And I'd remember, it was at a time like we used a lot like all these cool samples. It was a time when like the first technology, I think might be wrong, but where you would be able to cut up anything, right? Like to put it on from digitally. So we had like this stuff from like the animated Matrix. And like I was like really into it. That's when I was just like watching DVDs all the time. And I would like Mai told me, I was like, yo, put this on. And like we were cutting up, all these different things that, I love that part. So I liked a lot of like that kind of creativity about it. You know what I mean?
It was definitely in a time where like Cage's relationship with Eastern Conference was coming to an end, and maybe Thames, you can kind of feel it a little bit on the album that it's like maybe the golden era of Eastern Conference is coming to an end. But our next album, 12th Man, I feel like Eon just came to an absolute peak lyrically on that album. And we kind of went back to our 2-man crew shit where I produced the whole thing. But yeah.
Right, because on this album, Highlight Zone, you guys got Copy, Cage, R.A. the Rugged Man, Tame One, Reef did some production on it, right? RJD2 as well. I mean, you got Michael Rappaport making his rap debut on the album. You know, I mean, like How to Rob an Actor, which was based off of 50's How to Rob, right?
Mm-hmm.
And how did the relationship with Michael start? Because he did the video I Wanna as well, right?
Yeah. He directed that. And we did that in LA and Koreatown, and we did that shit was dope. And he, that was really kind of cool. And then like the little segment where he does his rap part, so that video was very cool. And like for us, we were just, wilding out and just, being funny and, like Take It Off and all that shit. So we were trying to keep, with the themes that we had always had, but also just that it was like a different time. So it was dope. Yeah. And that was like, that was like, I guess a time towards the end of being in New York and everything for us. And it was, it was dope.
How did you guys meet Michael Rappaport?
I forget how we did. I think, was that through Shrek too, Mai?
No, this was through a guy we went to college with, Michael Lindenbaum.
Oh, Lindy,
like,
right.
His Christian at the time.
Big up to Lindy.
And whose idea was it for him to rap on the album?
I don't know, but we have this funny story of him recording. He came over to the motherfucking spot and he ate some weed cookies that we gave him.
And he got destroyed and freaked out.
Thank God he did his recording before it kicked in, but it was just like that meme, these edibles ain't shit. And then like 30 minutes later, he was living out that meme, and he was sitting on my kitchen floor, Indian style, on the phone with his wife, saying, "These high and mighty guys, man, they drugged me, man." He was flipping out, but edibles aren't for people who are pent up. So
yeah,
you could see, see the real rap come out.
What I thought about was dope on that album was the song Fast Food Nation, which was inspired by the book, right?
Yeah.
And what you were talking about was just how America is very unhealthy. How do you think that song has aged now in the current day? Like,
Yeah.
is it not more relevant than ever?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, you just see more signs now, like all the fucked up shit and obesity and stuff. Like, to be honest, even like a year or so ago, I started going back to McDonald's because it is the devil, and sometimes you can get back into it. And then I was like, no, I can't be doing this shit. But no, yeah, I mean, it was definitely part of like that was a thing, and it still is. Just like a lot of the times we touch on different topics and stuff that like remain relevant and stuff. So, I think that was pretty cool. And that dude Eric Spurlock or whatever his name is, he died too. So, who knows if his horrific, how he treated his body that whatever amount of time didn't do that to him. Who knows? But yeah, we were, that was interesting, and it does show today.
Right.